Yeah, so of course the Frankfurt Auto Show was this week, and big news on the electric front. Volkswagen has just released their ID.3 or just ID.3. That's their first mass-produced electric car. That's meant for just affordability for everyone. It's a good size, and after seeing months of camouflage, we finally get to see it in the flesh. And we finally get to see the details of the vehicle. And I like just to start off. Unfortunately, this vehicle will not be available in North America. However,
of course,
because it's a car,
they're gonna send some diesel Jettas instead.
Right, they're going to send some crossovers because that's all the rage in North America.
Clean diesel crossovers.
Yes. So the reason why we're talking about this is because this will be important for the basis of the vehicle that is coming to America, in about 2 years' time, and that will be the ID.4 or ID.4X for all-wheel drive, presumably. So this is just, I guess, kind of a preview of what we can see, in terms of the architecture. Obviously not the body style, because we'll get a crossover style, and it's going to be much larger than this particular vehicle. But anyway. Let's get to the specs here. There's going to be 3 versions. One starting with 52 kilowatt hours, then moving up to 62 kilowatt hour, and then the top of the line will be 82 kilowatt hour. And the ranges from the base models, according to the European WLTP cycle, 206 miles for the 52, 263 for the 62 kilowatt, and 343 for the 82 kilowatt hour. Now, the base one, the estimated price will be below 30,000 euros. Now, that is, I think, a little bit more expensive than the Leaf, but the range is higher. So, it has that going for it. We can't really, convert that into American dollars directly, with taxes and sales taxes, import taxes, and all that, and of course regional differences. But anyway, I'm thinking, looking at the specs, the mid-range is what they're going to launch initially, or at least that's what the base, the first edition is going to be based on. With 263 miles, has a sweet spot of 100 kilowatt DC. And if you go down to the base, it's 50 kilowatt DC, and if you go to the top, it's 125 kilowatt DC. So there are differences in not just the battery size, but also how fast it can charge. And so of course that will depend on your usage and how you use the vehicle and how fast of a charge you need. With that middle range and that 100 kilowatt DC, you can charge 180 miles in 30 minutes. So
that's smart.
Is that really the pedals?
I would buy this car for that. That is so fun.
Yeah, it has a lot of...
I'll give you that. It's cute.
And did they say if it's a liquid-cooled battery? I assume so. But,
I presume so. I did not see that in the press release, but I presume so. It is mid-mounted, of course. That's part of the car. It is rear-wheel drive, which is a nice surprise. Single-speed transmission. The specification of that, it's about the size of a Golf. It's 167.8 inches. So quite small, but the wheelbase is 108.9 inches, and that's almost like mid-size / full-size wheelbase. So you got a lot of space inside, and cargo is a decent, small to decent 13.6 cubic feet. So most of that space is gone into the cabin for passengers. And again, you're showing some photos. I think it looks kind of cute. There's a lot of little, I'd say, features that you might find on a Japanese vehicle as opposed to a European vehicle. The pause and play pedals being one of them. The different color schemes that you see down there on in the photos there. Apparently, the headlights will kind of look up at you and kind of wink as you approach the car. That kind of playfulness that's kind of built into the vehicle. Kind of some of the highlights, the base model started 18-inch alloys, lightweight alloys, moving to 19 mid-range, 20 for the loaded one. The top model does have an augmented head-up display for navigation, kind of similar to what you see with the Mercedes EQC SUV. So you'll have your navigation instructions overlaid onto the road in your head-up display, which I thought is kind of cool. Matrix LED standard. It's available on the middle and the top trim of the first edition. Anything above 42 miles an hour, the high beams will come on automatically, and then of course because it's Matrix LED, it will dim accordingly to traffic. I mean that's kind of the gist of it.
And yet another EV that puts the charge port in the most awkward place to get to for the driver. Rear passenger quarter. Like Chevy Volt got it right. It's on the front fender on the driver's side.
Is this because of street parking in Europe?
Probably. That might
Possibly.
Be. Yeah, street charging. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Still, I think. I mean,
nose charging is good.
Yeah.
Center nose.
Right. So that's. Go ahead.
I'm okay with it in the back actually because I back in all the time. So.
You're one of those guys.
I'm one of those guys that if I drive the Leaf, it will drive me bonkers because I have to drive nose in.
But Teslas are so large that you have to back them in, otherwise, it's a mess.
I was going to say the thing that strikes me though, looking through those pictures of the chassis and even under the hood, is, I mean, it's the new normal for vehicles. Like the skateboard design is like, that's how we build a car now.
Right.
I like how much it reminds me of the Golf.
Yeah, I mean, that's the market they're targeting for. They're looking at 30,000 pre-orders, I believe. That's the number. Yep, 30,000 pre-orders. I guess the number they chose, the reason why it's 3, going back in their history, they were thinking, the Beetle being the first importing car for Volkswagen, the cheap car for the masses. The second being the Golf in 1974, I think. So they're thinking that this will be the Volkswagen's third, momentous car in its history.
I disagree. The bus was the second most important car.
Oh, yeah.
I was waiting for Paul to say that. Thank you, Paul.
Then the Golf, and then this one.
Now, does anyone notice do the wheels look overly large on this car?
They do.
Yeah.
At least on this one in the picture.
In the 20-inch one, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like 20-inch on a small car like this, they look absolutely mammoth.
Yeah,
really. When you hit a pothole, they go boom.
Yeah, like it's almost cartoonish. They're that large.
Yeah, the 18s of the same design look better as far as proportions go.
I believe
the one thing that bugged me about all the reporting on this vehicle was everybody said XYZ miles, and none of them bothered to mention that it was on that European weird cycle. And then they proceeded to compare it to.
So just for comparison, the Leaf, the standard range Leaf, gets 168 miles on the WLTP, and the Leaf Plus gets 240 miles.
Right.
Just for comparisons.
But all the publications, they were just going with their spec. They weren't saying how they would do.
I see.
They were comparing it to the American range on the American cycle, which is insane.
It is. But I mean,
it's the Leaf only does 76, and this does 350. Well, no, like you said, the Leaf does almost 200 and change if it's on the same cycle.
Yep.
It should do pretty well though, with the 77 kilowatt hour battery pack. That's a big battery in a little car like that.
Yeah,
it's gonna be quite heavy.
I actually like the color.
And as John was saying, the wheels are pushed to the far outside of the car to give you more room on the inside. I'm assuming
you got to put that battery somewhere.
If you're curious about weight, where did I write it down here? Here it is. It's portly. For 30, a shit 10 under 3,800 pounds.
Oh,
So 17,
heavy
19 kilograms. Yeah, 1,790 kilograms. It's not. I mean, it's comparable to the Leaf, and I assume this waits for the middle 62 kilowatt hour battery. So it's
About the same weight as a Model 3.
okay. Yeah. Power is about 200 and change. 204 horsepower and 229 foot-pounds at the motor, and limited to 100 miles an hour top speed.
As if
like-
anybody wants to go that fast in that car.
Germany.
Yeah.
I'd be afraid. Well, I mean, the big question for me is it going to happen? You know what I mean? Like, are they going to, I guess they're going to make it, right? Hopefully, maybe. But
30,000 of them.
when will we in America see
deliver-
something?
Well, for Europe, the deliveries will start December this year, 2019. For US, never. We will get the ID.4X, so I don't know if you can pull that one up. So it'll basically be a crossover based on this platform, the NEB platform, and I believe the target year is 2021. I don't know the exact month or quarter for the
Time 5:30.
Uh-oh.
Someone's got to get up early.
Uh-oh.
That's an early, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can't seem to ever
I want-
silence that thing.
I don't want to
And-
wake up at 5:30.
And Norway still has boatloads of tax incentives to buy EVs, right?
I don't know how much of it is left.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Because that
for
would
some
be
reason,
a good market for them. It's Europe and
The photos of the ID.3 and ID.4 look pretty much like the Model 3 and the Model Y.
Yeah.
There's like little difference.
this is sort of that low coefficient of drag syndrome. I think rather than somebody copying somebody else's style.
Oh no, I didn't mean style. I meant literally like Model 3 is this size and the Model Y is just a hair bigger.
Right.
The ID.3
Yeah.
and the ID.4 is just a hair bigger. And it's the exact same shape, size. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, not size, but everything looks like it just puffed it a little bit.
Yeah, I get where he's coming at. I get where Casey's
Yeah.
coming at. Coefficient of drag is 0.267.
Wow.
It's good.
That's a little higher than I thought it might be.
Mm-hmm.
Now the ID.4, they're just showing in like prototypes, and I've got a picture up that's showing it in camouflage, but it does look a little bit taller. So that it's got that CUV styling. It's a little bit bigger, it appears, than the 3. But I'm just curious to why, like, if VW made an i3, why on earth would they not ship it or have it made in North America as well? Like, it's weird that you would spend the money on developing the car and then never release it in North America as well.
Maybe they don't have enough batteries. And
Yeah, and they didn't design the car with our standards in mind, like bumpers and whatever crash tests.
and then we can't use those headlights at all because we have ancient regs.
For now, didn't NHTSA isn't NHTSA looking into that and changing it?
I hope so. That and mirrors.
They're looking at mirrors for sure. I'm not sure about headlights.
Mirrors are recent. Matrix LEDs, I think, were earlier. Here it is. NHTSA proposes to legalize matrix adaptive LEDs October 12th, 2018. So yeah. They're working on it.
Speed of government.
It is kind of surprising they wouldn't do that. Now, that said, they wouldn't sell it here in the U.S. Let's look at what Ford and what Chevy has done to their sedan lineup and go, the big car companies have no faith that Americans are going to buy sedans going forward.
Or hatchback. Well, keep in mind, Volkswagen, at least in the United States, will not bring the next generation Golf. It is only coming in GTI and R form. Golf. In Canada, we are, but not.
So it just further goes to say that they also don't believe that we buy cars here.
Yeah.
But with the electric, that's not so bad.
They make more money selling SUVs.
Oh, of course.
Oh,
of course.
both low no more. Yeah.
But with the electric SUVs and electric CUVs, assuming they're fueled on clean fuel, it's not as bad as it could be. But in
But-
the meantime,
They are more expensive.
well, of
Right.
course, they make more money. But in the meantime, like, while we're still mostly fossiled over here, it would be nice for them not to be killing off the efficient stuff. But the only thing that's going to bring them back is a sudden shock of the gas price, and then they'll be scrambling to bring production back or ship them
Right.
from overseas.
The classic American car making business cycle, you know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
always behind rather than, I mean, yeah. See, and I say that, but at least here they're trying to be proactive, but
Yeah.
they're not really. They're trying to drive the market in the direction they want it to go. They say they never do that, but they have forever.
Of course.